Let's take a look at these two examples. Again, we're supposed to multiply binomial by the polynomial. And we are going to use, again, the same technique which we used before. We have to distribute this 5 into the parentheses. So I have to multiply 5xy squared by every single term which I have inside of the parentheses. Let me do everything step by step. First, I'm going to look at signs. There's this invisible positive sign times negative. Positive times negative gives me negative. 5 times invisible 1 gives me 5. And I have x, y squared times x squared. I multiply this by this. Next, invisible positive sign times positive gives me positive. 5 times invisible 1 gives me 5, and I have x, y squared times x, y squared from here. X, y squared from here times x, y squared from here. Next, I have invisible positive sign times negative. Sign is negative. 5 times 12 is 60. And I copy down x, y squared. Now let me organize this expression. I'm going to have minus 5. Remember, anytime there is no exponent, there is always invisible 1. Anytime I multiply variables with the same base, I'm supposed to keep the base and add exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. And copy down y squared. Plus 5. Remember, anytime there is no visible exponent, there is always invisible 1. And I have x, x. Again, I have the same base. I'm supposed to keep the base and add exponents. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. And I have y times y. I keep the base and add exponents. 2 plus 2 gives me 4. Minus 60x y squared. Let's take a look at the second example. Again, I have to multiply this binomial by every single term of my polynomial. Again, I'm going to look at the signs first. Negative times invisible positive will give me negative. 2 times 8 is 16. And let me copy the variables because they're the most confusing ones. So I have a, b to the third, c to fourth. I have to multiply by a to the second and b. Remember, anytime there is not visible exponent, there is always invisible 1. Now, let's multiply this term by 3a. Negative times positive gives me negative. 2 times 3 gives me 6. And let me copy a, b to the third, c to the fourth. I copy these variables and I have to multiply by a. Remember, anytime there is no exponent, there is always invisible 1. Next, I have to multiply this term by negative b. Negative times negative gives me positive. Okay? And I'm going to have 2a, b to the third, c to the fourth. I simply copy everything, whatever I had over here, and multiply by b. Remember, b to the first. Next, I have to multiply this binomial by negative 10. Negative times negative gives me positive 20. Because I have 2 times 10, I have 20, and I simply copy all these three variables, which I have a, b to the third, c to 4. As I said, I'm doing everything step by step. Next, let's organize this expression. We have negative, and I have 16. I have a to the first power, and I have a to the second power. This is multiplication, so I have to keep the base and add exponents. I have 1 plus 2 gives me 3. Next, I have b to the third, and I have b to the first. Again, I have the same base. I keep the base and add exponents. 3 plus 1 gives me 4. And I have to copy down c to the 4th. Minus, let's organize this term. I have 6, a to the first, and I have a to the first. I keep the base and add exponents. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. And I have b to the third and c to the fourth. I simply copy them down. Plus 2. I have to copy down a, because I have just one a. And I have b to the third and b to the first. This is multiplication, that's why I'm going to keep the base and add exponents. 3 plus 1 gives me 4, c to the 4th. Plus, I cannot combine any terms together, that's why I'm going to just have 20, a, b to the third, and c to the 4th. This is the solution to my problem.